Oh, hey guys, not Tattooed Squirrel here, but today we are in his garage and we're going to install some Tattooed Squirrel hammock brackets to my Everglades. So stay tuned and follow along with this squirrely adventure.
Hey guys, for those of you that don't know, that's actually Eric, Big Luck's life. Now, what he's talking about are the hammock brackets. These are actually pretty cool, but with his, they're even cooler. Why? Well, I had them powder coated in the eruption green, which is really cool. So let's get these put on. Let's get started. Follow along. First thing we're gonna do, he's actually gonna remove the roof panels on the Bronco. This is actually a pretty vital step because you won't be able to replace the hardtop latching bracket, as this bracket is a direct replacement of the OEM latching bracket. So we'll get the top off. For those of you that don't know, it is snowing here in Illinois. We're supposed to get about 5 inches or so today.
What she said.
So once you have your top off, you'll have access to the two 50 Torx bolts up here that actually bolt your bracket down. And we'll move the camera here in a minute for that. There is, in the kit, you'll get 2 brackets. You can put one on either side in the front to replace those brackets, the factory OEM brackets, and you can use them in the rear. So let's get the camera moved around here and we'll show you what we're talking about. Okay, so once you get the top off, you'll gain access, and there's a plastic cover that mount to the OEM bracket right here. The easiest way to do this is a small pair of pliers. There's little pins on either side of it's a little clip, so you have to push those in and push the clips down, and you'll remove your plastic cover piece. So this we'll actually address later because there is some trimming on this for the new bracket. So now what you'll do is you'll take your Torx 50, you'll unbolt here and remove the bracket. If you want to hand me the Torx, well, I got the ratchet, but I need the Torx. I think it's over there somewhere. We're flying by night here, guys. Flying by night here. You'll actually need a Torx 50 and you will need a 13 millimeter wrench. With this kit, you will get 4 13 millimeter by M8 125 nuts to mount your bracket. So again, here is the new bracket. This is a direct OEM replacement. Apparently, we don't have everything we need. Okay, now we got the right stuff. So you're gonna take your 50 Torx. I use my Earthquake XT. You can use any standard ratchet. Just you'll go ahead. So you'll remove the 2 M8 125 Torx 50 bolts. You're gonna retain these as you will be using those. Your factory OEM bracket comes just like this. So with the new Tattooed Squirrel Designs bracket, you're actually replacing the OEM bracket and everything is exactly the same. This just gives you the ability to run your hammock in without having a bracket on your roll bar. So with that being said, you're going to take your T50s, Torx 50s, you're going to place your bracket in like so. You'll have your 4 nuts, if I find them, that come with your kit right here. Place your bracket in. It can only get bolted one way on the driver's side and only one way on the passenger side. So with the provided nuts, put them on the bottom of your new hammock bracket. The placement will be just the same as your factory bracket. There'll be a little bit of play, which is fine. You can make it however you want placement wise. And then you'll go ahead and you'll tighten your bolt down to the provided nut. Now you have everything that you need from the OEM bracket now to facilitate your hammock inside of your Bronco. So the next step is you're going to go back to your cover piece. This is kind of a crucial piece. You don't necessarily have to use this. You don't have to put it back on, but it actually does look nicer when you put it back on. And we'll show you what we need to do with this to facilitate the new bracket. All right, so in this step, we're gonna, like I said, we're reverting back to the plastic piece. What you'll need for that is just a standard utility knife, some blue painter's tape or whatever tape that you have, and you're going to actually take a piece of tape. Now the tape is strictly for alignment purposes only. So if you get this close to the camera, there's a little notch on either side, and this top piece actually has to be removed to facilitate the hammock bracket. So we'll go ahead and we'll line that up, and then you're going to want to make it go even all the way to the other side, like so. This will give you a good line for when you cut the plastic down. So once you got your painter's tape on, now you have a decent line. I'm going to take your utility knife and you'll score the plastic all along that line. Right on the tape, like so. Just be careful not to cut yourself. Don't go too deep. You can always adjust later. So now you have a score line. You can go ahead and take your tape off. And now you can actually cut a little deeper on that line. So what I like to do is start right here in this corner. I kind of work my way around on my score line to the curve. Once I got that done, then I actually go grab a pair of pliers and I will just break this off. So hold on 1 second and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so now these are just standard pair of pliers. What you'll do, you already made your score line around the corner, and with your line that's scored, you can actually just take the plastic with your pliers and kind of bend it along that score line that you made, just like so. You can work this plastic back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. If it doesn't feel like it wants to go the first go around, go ahead and grab your utility knife again. Make a little bit of a deeper cut on your score line, but make sure you stay in your score line. And then we'll go back to the pliers. So if you want, you can get it to where it just feels like it's ready to come off and just kind of tear it off a little bit. Now don't worry about that because we're actually going to clean that up. Take our utility knife again and you'll just shave the part that broke off like so. And then if you want to take one step further and you want to kind of clean that up a little bit, you can take any standard lighter and you can just run your lighter along that plastic where you cut. And what that will do was that will change the white cut line to back to black. So now your piece is ready to facilitate the new bracket. So we'll take the camera back over there and we'll snap this back in on the new hammock bracket. Okay guys, so we're back in the Bronco and we have our new hammock bracket installed that does, again, I'll reiterate, replace the factory bracket. So now that we've made our modification to the factory OEM trim piece, you can basically snap right back in and you're good to go. So everything is back. If it doesn't feel like it wants to stay, what you can do is there's little seats that you can trim down on each one of these clips to actually make that clip down. However, it is pretty secure once you make that cut, and you can still remove it fairly easy without a pair of pliers if the time comes that you want to do that. So it's really all up to preference. And same thing goes for the other side, passenger side. It's exactly the same. We're not gonna go into details with that. The only difference is the bracket sits basically upside down on the passenger side. So when you remove your passenger side bracket, instead of the long arm coming towards the driver's side, you'll actually flip the bracket over and it will be long side towards the passenger side door. So this alleviates the need for any bracketry in the roll bar itself, and the brackets themselves are compatible with soft top, factory hardtop and any aftermarket hardtop that's on the market right now that utilizes the OEM bracket. So with that being said, what we'll do is we'll show you another option for this for the rear. And it's actually going to be a different color because Eric has the Mountains to Metal basket in the back and cannot utilize this bracket in the back of his Bronco. So let's walk on over here to the Ken Barbie Bronco and we'll show you how these mount to the rear roll bar for the hammock bracket. So now we're in the rear of the four-door Bronco. These are strictly for the four-door Bronco. Well, you can utilize them in the front on the two-door Bronco, but only in the rear on the four-door Bronco. These things actually have, hers are actually pink to go with the rest of her pink stuff. And these brackets actually bolt to the roll bar like such. Let me show you. These will actually come, you can order a single or you can order a set, and they will come in black. They'll come in a production powder coat black when you order them. And the single kit will come with two M8 125 10mm bolts. That's for the rear. And they will come with two of the M8 125 locking nuts for the front. So you can order just one or two, but for the rear of the Bronco, most of them have the mounting location on the roll bar with the riv nuts. So you'll take your supplied M8 125 bolts, you'll screw that into the riv nut location, top and bottom, like so. And that is a 10mm. So you'll use your 10mm ratchet, you'll tighten those down. And then with the front bracket located in the OEM replacement spot, and then the rear, you have a place for your hammock in the rear. You can also utilize something like these lifting eyes. These can be used as well. So if you just want to order one kit, I would suggest getting a couple of these off of Amazon. They're a lifting eye and they're fairly cheap if you didn't want the dual setup on the brackets. So this is the installation video for the OEM replacement front brackets and the rear four-door. Like I said, these are only for the rear in the four-door, not the two-door. But they do across the board for the two-door and four-door for the front. So again, these will replace the OEM front brackets, latching brackets in the front. So that's the install video, and I appreciate you watching. Until the next squirrely adventure, hang in there. There's a lot more coming. We got a lot more content coming here in the near future. We got some new products that we're getting ready to release, and hopefully you guys will like that. Preparations for Supercell East are actually in the works as we're shooting this video right now. So stay tuned, more YouTube videos, more TikToks, more Instagram, and we'll see you next time. Until the next squirrely adventure, TAT2D.